But first, let's begin here. Developing this morning, growing frustration and a demand for answers on those mystery drones over the East Coast. Well, New York Governor Kathy Hochul says state-of-the-art drone radar technology is now headed to her state as thousands of these sightings leave the public scratching their heads, worried about what in the world is up in the sky. News Nation's Tom Dempsey has the latest from Washington this morning. Tom, people living under the flight path of these drones aren't the only ones frustrated or concerned here. How are lawmakers trying to combat them?
Hey, good morning, Mark. Yeah, look, concerns seem to be growing about all of this due to the lack of clear answers from the federal government and whether or not federal authorities are doing enough to stop these drones. We saw even more sightings over the weekend, but Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas recently commented about all this, promising a thorough investigation, and he's also confirmed no evidence of foreign involvement. Also, New York Governor Kathy Hochul has announced federal authorities are deploying advanced drone detection systems in the state. And on Sunday, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer urged Homeland Security to deploy specialized technology called the Robin, capable of identifying and tracking drones back to their landing locations.
Why do we have more questions than answers? Some of the drones are small. Some of the drones' flight patterns are erratic. Multiple drones flying together can confuse a traditional radar system. And that's why, again, this new technology can really get us the answers that we need.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is that we're talking about the drone situation that's been happening across the eastern U.S. for a while now, and it is not looking too promising, at least not with the government just kind of twiddling their thumbs and doing nothing as per usual. And people are rightfully frightened, and we need to know what's going on. Trump has gone out and said that we need to shoot them down if we don't know what's going on, if it's not ours. And of course, Joe Biden, the administration, and what have you, the Democrats are not really doing anything about it. And yeah, it ain't look good. And of course, the great and almighty Adam Kinzinger has pretty much said, "Oh, don't worry about it, guys. It's not a problem. It's we're fine, and all that great stuff." And so without further ado, let's go to Adam Kinzinger, the idiot in question.
Further, now with former Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Good to see you, Congressman. So, you know, what do you make of how federal agencies have thus far responded to these sightings so far? Secretary Mayorkas saying, you know, we're looking at them. They pose no national threat at this time. Is enough being said or done to reassure people?
I mean, look, if people don't want to be reassured, then the answer is no. And, you know, look, what I'm hearing from Homeland and what I'm hearing from FBI is we don't see a threat here. And look, honestly, every video I've seen, and I've spent the last couple of days looking at every one of these videos, every video I have seen on Twitter or on the internet are all airplanes. They're literally all airplanes. Some of them will show an airplane that's kind of stable out there and says that's a drone. And actually, it's an airplane flying towards you at 30,000 feet. And I can see the lighting on it. And if there are drones out there, by the way, and if any of these pictures that they have shown are actual drones, these drones then are complying with FAA lighting requirements, a green on the right, a red on the left with a strobe. And so it's not Iran, it's not aliens if there are drones. My guess is if there are drones, again, because again, all I've seen are airplanes, then it is more than likely some company that's out testing drones or something like that and has no requirement to tell the public that they're doing it because they're actually operating these things legally. There have been no accusations of illegal operations. By the way, as a pilot myself, I can fly over a military base whenever I want. Those restrictions don't exist. So I think there's a lot of mass hysteria, and I've heard stories of people pointing lasers at these quote-unquote drones, and then the drones' lights go off. Actually, let's be clear. I've been lased as a pilot before. You're supposed to turn off all your lights once you get lased so that they can't find you because it can actually damage your eyes.
So I really don't believe Adam Kinzinger at all. I mean, it is quite interesting what's going on here. And the problem that we have here is that it's not that there's not a threat, right? But one of the threats is that they shut down an airport, all right? They shut down an airport. So I don't know what I want to tell you, Kinzinger, but if they're having the ability to shut down an airport, perhaps is a bigger concern than we imagined, and maybe the government should do their bloody job and get on it. Like, hello? Here's the actual report of these drones being reported of shutting down an actual airport.
Back to those drone sightings, which continue to spark concerns across the country, with more videos being posted every night.
Yeah, they've become such a problem. They've even started shutting down an airport. KTLA's Gene Kang is live for us with the latest. Good morning, Gene. What's the news here?
Hey, good morning, Megan and Lauren. A lot of folks are reporting these issues. They're seeing these drones at night or early in the morning when the sun is not even up. Now, we got some new video from a viewer here at KTLA. However, this is causing some big problems on the East Coast, even shutting down a runway at New York's Stewart Airport. Well, this is a very big issue.
Moving lights. Okay, we love it. So what is this? Just hanging out.
So this new video from KTLA viewer Sharon shows what appears to be a drone over the San Fernando Gardens community. That was at 4 o'clock this morning when she sent that over to our newsroom, with multiple other sightings across our part of the country. A TikTok user captured video of possibly 5 drones in Riverside. They've been spotted in Temecula as well earlier this week. So exactly what's going on? Temecula is near Camp Pendleton, a military base, but the Marines say they're not involved. Riverside County Sheriff, well, he suggests the drones could be from Southern California Edison, which inspects power lines with drones. However, the utility company says they don't fly drones at night.
Yeah, so I really don't know what Kinzinger is talking about here, right? I don't know what is making him go and say stuff like this, because the insanity is through the roof here. The insanity is just completely through the roof. You can't say that they're not a threat, but they're actually shutting down airports. And here's the thing. Most people, if not most people, do not have the ability to afford some of these drones. Just the drones that I see that are laying on the shelf or whatever are between $400 to $500 plus. The average American is not going to have a drone that is this expensive that is going to have the ability to shut down an airport. I mean, most people that are going to have drones, there's going to be drones that are going to be in a camera or in the air, and they're just in the air doing their stuff that doesn't have any other capabilities for shutting down an airport, regardless whether they're in compliance with the lights or not. So you're going to have to bring up that. It brings them up really big on that regard. Now, here's another thing that we have to talk about. If they're not such a big threat, Adam Kinzinger, if they're not such a big threat, then why are they shutting down an airport and they're also shutting down a Air Force base? Okay, please, just let's just really just go over here. How are they not a threat if they're shutting down an Air Force base? Here, we have this. It's insane.
Alarming drone incident that forced one of the U.S.'s most critical Air Force bases to close its airspace for several hours. This happened at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base over the weekend in Ohio. And just in, new air traffic control audio obtained by military news website The War Zone of the moment it happened.
Med Flight 8 Patterson Tower, use extreme caution for heavy UAS movement on the base. Security forces is handling the situation, and I gotta keep the lights down so that security forces can see.
Ohio, now the latest of several states to report drone concerns as scrutiny over the federal response is building. This morning, lawmakers are demanding government officials do more and explain more after weeks of suspicious sightings.
I've had briefings, as I've said, that makes me feel confident based on those briefings that there's not an imminent threat to public safety, but it doesn't answer the question, where are all these drones coming from that people are seeing, and why aren't we doing a better job of tracking them and understanding that? It can't be the Wild West of drones out there in Jersey or anywhere else. We got to get to the bottom of this, and people deserve answers.
And ahead we'll speak to...
Yeah, so let's just go over this real quick. So, Kinzinger, you're saying that the drones are not a problem. They're not a threat, right? But they have shut down a airport, and they have now currently shutting down an Air Force base? Since when is this not an issue? I really want this under. I really want you to explain on how this is not an issue. flying over an Air Force base may be one thing, but shutting down an Air Force base is a completely different scenario altogether. So I want you to get off your stupid high horse, get off your brain of idiocy, and maybe start telling the Republic or telling the people on what is going on. Because you just straight lied. You cannot tell me that this is not a threat when they shut down an Air Force base and an airport. I'm sorry. Perhaps I'm an idiot here, but I'm starting to connect the dots here, and it doesn't seem like we're very safe. It doesn't seem like we're secure in our country as the Biden administration and our government is just pretty much jacking with their freaking Congo stick here and doing nothing.
To more lawmakers who are concerned, CNN's Sunlen Serfati is in Washington. Sunlen, what more is the administration planning to do? There are a lot of concerns that have turned to frustration and anger, frankly.
That's absolutely right, Sarah. Concern is growing and pressure certainly is increasing on the administration to be more transparent and clear in how they're handling this and distribute the information that they know. This incident at the Air Force Base over the weekend at Wright-Patterson, right outside Dayton, Ohio, really increasing the alarm. The fact that that airspace was closed for 4 hours. This is, as you noted, a very critical airspace. Air Force Center hosts the Air Force Research Lab, the National Air and Space Intelligence Center. So certainly concerning that a drone would be flying in that airspace overhead. And it comes as these drone sightings are only increasing, now extending beyond New York and New Jersey, but other places, especially in the Northeast. So that only increasing the alarm here. And we have seen a recalibration of sorts from the administration over the weekend, really leaning into this message that they are on it, despite, as you noted, some frustration from lawmakers demanding more answers. But we heard from the Secretary of Homeland Security over the weekend saying that he is not aware of any direct national security concerns and trying again to tell the public that the administration is on it. Here's what the Secretary had to say.
There's no question that people are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings.
So I really want to go over this very briefly here. Now, notice how we have this over here, right, where it just says pretty much closed airspace for almost 4 hours due to drone activity. I don't know about that one, guys. That sounds like a pretty big threat. If you're closing down our airspace for almost 4 hours, that sounds like a pretty big problem. But, of course, what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber just talking about this stuff. Just a guy out in the streets, I guess.
Are really trying to express that they're increasing some resources to take care of this issue and learn more about this issue. Meantime, Republican Mike Waltz of Florida, President-elect Donald Trump's incoming national security advisor, really taking issue with where exactly these drone sightings are happening, specifically over military sites and restricted airspaces. Here's what he had to say.
I think what the drone issue points out are kind of gaps in our agencies, gaps in our authorities. Between the Department of Homeland Security, local law enforcement, the Defense Department. It's pointing to gaps in our capabilities and in our ability to clamp down on what's going on here. And we need to get to the bottom of it. And I think the Biden administration is working to do that.
Now, lawmakers on both sides, though, Sarah, are certainly expressing very vocal frustrations on the part of the administration here for what they believe is not being as transparent as they would like and calling for new regulations over drones. So this certainly is going to be something, Sarah, we are going to see on Capitol Hill this week. All this talk about the drones and the concerns over the security.
Sunlen Serfati, thank you so much for that good reporting. Appreciate it. Kate?
Yeah, so, again, what I want to know what's going on here, right? Because obviously the Biden administration has to do something. He's going to have to speak up. He's going to have to talk about the situation because obviously things are not going well. There is quite a bit of concern. It's shutting down air bases. It's shutting down airports, and it's not looking great. I mean, it's bad. It's concerning, and I think everybody has the right to be concerned. Adam Kinzinger is an idiot, but what else is new with random Republicans these days? And Joe Biden has to make a statement because we need to know what is going on. The government is taking its beautiful time, and it's pretty much announcing everybody to our foreign enemies, saying like, "Oh, come into our airspace. We won't blow you up. We'll let you go free. We'll let you bomb our citizens. We'll let you collect evidence on our citizens. We'll maybe even let you capture us because we won't do anything. We won't shoot you out of the sky. So therefore, please come to our country and raid us because we are a government that will do absolutely nothing if you come within our airspace." That is what Joe Biden is coming to us here. That's pretty much what he's saying, and we probably should do something about it before something gets worse. I mean, maybe they're just preparing to start a war and they know all our secrets, and perhaps it's not nothing at all. Hopefully it's not nothing at all, but it's looking quite concerning, and I think our government should probably get its ass in gear. That's just me, maybe try to be a bit more worried about the situation that we're in than just not doing anything. So, yeah, this is what we get with this administration, dude. I cannot wait till Trump gets in because, obviously, this administration, this government is absolute garbage. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.